morning, everyone. The Blues will be relying on their frontline forces if they are to retain Rugby's Super 12 crown on Saturday. But as Mike McRoberts reports, more than 30 players have been used to maintain the Blues' perfect year so far.
The Auckland Blues are training, where the players keep coming and coming and coming. While the playing 15 has one practice, the rest have another all of their own. Not that they're complaining.
If you're going to be reserve, I mean, you want to reserve to the best, and I suppose they are the best.
Thompson's part of an impressive bench for the Blues, who constantly put pressure on the playing 15.
I feel it's up to myself to justify my selection, not only just for myself, for the team, but also for Charles especially.
It's the Blues' depth of talent that has been the secret to their unbeaten record. This season they've used 32 players, only 6 of whom, including Thompson, have played in all 12, while 4 others, like Carlos Spencer, 11. Matthew Webber and Tony Marsh played in only 1 match. Of the entire squad of 32, only 2 hadn't played in a match. Counties fullback Dean Shepherd and Waikato reserve hooker Richard Kirk both sat on the bench for a solitary match.
Yeah, we had a lot of injuries, haven't we? And particularly in the mid part of the season, and we had to call on players outside of the original 25.
Michael Scott was in the 25, but has still only made the field 4 times.
Yeah, I haven't had as many games as I'd like to, but just being in the team's a big buzz and always learning things, you know, being around a professional bunch.
And that professional bunch would be the first to include Scott in any victory celebration on Saturday. Mike McRoberts, One Network News.
The Super 12 final won't be short on Pacific Island talent, and that remains a sore point for the island nations. They're still annoyed they were ignored for the Super 12, and today they launched an initiative aimed at doing something about it. Cliff Joyner reports.
Many Pacific Island-born rugby players abandoned their home countries to bolster Super 12 and other national sides. Today, Manu Samoa, Fiji and Tonga announced they'll fight together for a place in either the Super 12 or an expanded competition.
If we can create a situation where the team is touring, creating more interest for the rugby public throughout the world, then obviously that is going to have great benefits, not only for rugby in the Pacific, but also for world rugby.
The union's desperate to hold on to players.
We're getting frozen out of tours, finding it very hard to secure decent tours, and very hard to keep control of our players because we just don't have the financial backing to do so.
The aim is to have a Pacific Islands team available for Super 12 warm-ups next year, in a place in the World Premier Rugby competition in 1999. Rugby bosses here have welcomed the move, but can't see a place for a Pacific Island team in Super 12.
The financial implications, the potential loss of revenue for all of the existing unions within Super 12, there are a myriad of potential problems.
The Pacific Island representatives hope SANZAAR will see fit to discuss their proposal at Friday's Super 12 meeting, up there with ACT's refusal to cough up semi-final dues owed to Wellington. Cliff Joyner, One Network News.
New Zealand's world-ranked javelin thrower Gavin Lovegrove has headed off on another overseas campaign. His ultimate destination, though, will be the World Track and Field Championships in August. And as Peter Williams reports, he was handed a boost today.
Gavin Lovegrove thought he had thrown away a career when he chose to pursue the sport he loves. But a team-up between New Zealand Post and the New Zealand Sports Foundation has given him a second chance. They've designed a career package for 5 New Zealand athletes, Lovegrove the first beneficiary.
It's so good going over knowing, hey, I've got a job when I come back, and it's not just a tedious job, it's a career-orientated job. And it just takes such a load off your mind, and you go over there and just purely concentrate on your sport and go for it.
Let's get these athletes into properly structured corporates that can provide all the backup and the support they need to develop a career.
Lovegrove admits he has few academic qualifications, but says athletes do have something to contribute to the corporate world.
I think we can bring with us some of the things that we've developed in our sports, such as our dedication and some of our, perhaps our goal-setting abilities and things like that. Perhaps a little bit of a profile to the company.
Gavin Lovegrove's profile comes with 3 consecutive bronze medals at the Commonwealth Games. And while successful in the sports arena, he's already showing he's the man for a career in sales.
I expect it to be very successful, and I hope that encourages perhaps not only New Zealand Post, but perhaps a load of other corporates to get involved with the same thing and expand the program to be able to help out many more sports people.
Now Gavin Lovegrove can work towards the next Commonwealth and Olympic Games knowing someone does give a toss about his life after sport. Peter Williams, One Network News.
Lovegrove is again chasing a spot among the world's elite. No such trouble for the Sri Lankan cricketers. The World Cup winners have again proved their supremacy in the one-day game. For the second time in 4 days, they topped 300 in the finals of the Independence Cup in India. 3 batsmen passed 50, leaving Pakistan a target it fell well short of. Sri Lanka won the World Cup at the same ground last year. The man many were tipping to win the French Tennis Open fell at the very first hurdle today. 4th seed Goran Ivanisevic was ousted by Swede Magnus Gustafsson. And in another upset, 2-time French Open champion Jim Courier also made a quick exit, beaten by another Swede, Magnus Larsson. But no such problems for Steffi Graf, whose straight sets win over Argentina's Paula Schweiz has taken her career earnings past $20 million US, around $30 million in our money. Only Martina Navratilova has won more. Like Graf, Martina Hingis began her campaign with an easy straight sets win, but 8th seed Anke Huber is out already, beaten by Kimberly Poe in a 3-set battle. A big day for the Swedes in Paris, the players with the same Christian name, Magnus, both eliminating more fancied opponents, and 14th seed Tim Henman is also out. It took 3 days to find this year's winner, but the famous Indy 500 was as impressive as ever. Bernadine Oliver Kirby has all the action from the Brickyard.
After 2 days of postponements because of rain, the 81st Indianapolis 500 finally got underway. But the racing was halted almost immediately. The drivers given a cautionary yellow flag on the very first lap when Robbie Gordon's car caught fire, and so did he. The invisible methanol flames burning his hands and legs. The drivers lined up again, but this time it was Steve Kinser's turn to create a little chaos, getting just too close trying to pass and taking Lynn St James, the only female driver, with him. Billy Rowe and Paul Durant's race came to an abrupt end.
Wow. They just touched and away they went.
And so did Jack Miller and Mike Roths after this high-speed mishap.
Get going, buddy, get going!
Dutchman Arie Leyendyk was a danger man hunting for his second Indy 500 victory. His biggest threat coming from Treadway Racing teammate and former Indy runner-up Scott Goodyear. Forever the bridesmaid, Goodyear, looking comfortable, sat in front. But with 7 laps to go, disaster struck.
Scott Goodyear, who has been so close, but here comes Leyendyk. Leyendyk, they go into the corner side by side, and Leyendyk takes the lead of the 500.
And in a race where the lead changed 16 times, it didn't change again.
Here comes Arie Leyendyk.
Scott Goodyear finishing second and possibly considering a career change. Bernadine Oliver Kirby, One Network News.
Very much the Flying Dutchman at the Brickyard, Leyendyk adding to his first win in 1990, but the hard luck story belongs to Scott Goodyear.
Well, on Sports Night, Maridika talks to Manu Samoa coach Brian Williams.
Yes, and a feature on John Daly's road to recovery.
Thanks, Ab.
Well, after the break, Jim has some dark clouds looming.
Plus some ratepayer brickbats for the Hamilton City Council.
And this live shot shows the big fire which has broken out this news hour in central Auckland. We'll cross live to our reporter, Nicole Bremner.
Well, tonight, the offender who got so sick of waiting for the cops to arrive, she phoned them herself. Also tonight, the tiff over the life of Dame Naomi Marsh. Was she a scheming cross-dresser? And does anybody have the right to write that? And does it matter? And also tonight, fish fanatics, a couple who have fish to thank for true love. This is Tonight on Homes.